So as you can see here, we have our email that we've received, in this case, to Molly from Charles. And I have the attachment here, and since it seems like an email that came from a friend of mine, I'm going to go ahead and open the attachment. In this case, the attachment being different than your typical executable, this is an Office file, so we trust it. And you can see what took place is that I tried to open this Office document, and the Office document kind of disappeared, and we kind of saw an error. You can also see in the bottom right-hand corner of our screen a dialog that came up, which is basically the Windows firewall, which is a security mechanism within Vista, has been disabled.
So at this point, you've opened this document, and now Derek has access to your computer?
The victim's computer, Molly, is wide open now. I'm about to connect to it. And when I connect, I'll actually be able to do more with the computer than Molly herself can. The first thing I'm going to do is give myself more access to all of her files. So I'm going to make a user, and this user is going to be called Hacker. I'm going to make Hacker an administrator, which means Hacker can do anything on the computer.
And this whole time, Molly can't see anything on her computer. She's just wondering what happened to that Office document.
At this point, as Derek is hacking into the computer and adding users and giving himself full control, Molly had simply received an email, tried to open this Office document, kind of seemed to have Office crash or something wrong, but nothing really noticeable. She figured it's a bad document, so she's probably going about her day. So in this case, it's later on in the day after Molly had just unsuspectingly opened this Office document, and she's coming to her bank account website, and she's going to come along to log in, and as she types in her login, you're actually going to see that exact username and password that's actually showing up now on the attacker's computer. And by having that information, Derek at this point, if he wanted to, he could pretty much do anything within her bank account. So he could transfer money to another bank account that he controls, or get enough information to do wire transfers and various other things. This is a lot of the types of attacks that we kind of hear today as we talk about Windows XP and Windows XP Service Pack 2. The real importance is that it's not necessarily a new kind of attack, but it's an attack that's just as relevant and just as prevalent on Windows Vista. And you're no more secure owning Windows Vista than you were owning Windows XP. And if you do have Vista as part of a new computer or something of that nature, you need to be very careful not to become complacent in just trusting that everything's going to be okay because it's Vista. In a few months, if they come out with the patches, then you won't be able to use this attack specifically. But at the same time, there's always new attacks that are discovered. So I think right now at eEye, we've found about 3 or 4 different attacks, besides just the couple that we demonstrated today, which all work on Windows Vista. And there'll be more and more coming in the future. So
what's a consumer to do? I mean, you know, they depended on Windows Vista. They have antivirus software, but it didn't catch any of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the main things is for a consumer is to stay on top of patching, to stay on top of making sure that Windows Update has been configured to download patches and run them immediately when they're released. At the same time, I think something that most consumers don't think about is that you have a lot of other software on your computer besides Microsoft applications, for example, iTunes or Adobe Acrobat, something of that nature. And it's very important to keep those applications up to date also. So the next time you get that pop-up that says, would you like to update your iTunes, definitely update it, because iTunes, like any other software, has vulnerabilities itself.
So if you see on your Windows screen that your firewall was dismantled, you should be worried, right?
Yes, you should definitely be worried. It's probably this guy. No, just